keeping with this being a true variety show, now we have some comedy. Matt Teller.
All right.
I really appreciate having the opportunity to do this. I haven't really prepared anything, so I hope that it goes okay. Ignore the
That's
ones
okay,
that-
Matt. Just wing
You
it.
really need to prepare.
I appreciate this because in Myrtle Beach they have a young adult night, and I inexplicably am allowed to do that despite my advancing age. But in this community, there are basically two types of people: people who dealt drugs in the '60s and young adults. That's pretty much what it is. People who lived on like a commune in 1972. Everyone else is a young adult, pretty much at this point. You're like 45, or you're a young adult. So I haven't really prepared anything. I guess I could go back to the original, to the classics. The first jokes that I ever did, it was the 1993 LA Sahabas. Was anyone at the 1993 LA Sahabas? Besides my family who was there. Yes, Pilgrim Pines, everyone remember that? Yeah. And I'm like 12, I did a whole thing about the cast of hands and feet, Baba's hands and feet. Has anyone bought these items? Baba's, yes, this is right, got to be different. And I realized, from a capitalistic perspective, this is a very limited lifespan. There's not a lot of people inside the Baba community who are looking to buy casts of hands and feet. It's not which is why I am proud to announce that I'm opening up a company to sell these things. I got Baba's shins, I got torsos, I'm working on a cast of the mustache, that's a limited edition. But we're here to celebrate Baba for Baba's birthday, right? Let's give a round of applause for Baba. Yes, thank you. And it's tough. Yes, and also for my note, it's tough to shop for someone who's turning 126. What do you get the God man who has everything and the nothing? What do you do in that case? I mean, I guess you could get unsniffed roses. That seems to be a big thing. You go to the Samadhi, you take one sniff out of a rose and they act like you're Colonel Irani 2.0. They're like, be gone, foul demon of the night. But I have to be honest with you, the bees have been sniffing those roses. They're pre-sniffed roses, okay? So next time I'm in India, I'm going to have a talk with the Samadhi people about that. You could also get him maybe a megaphone and some lozenges. It's been about 95 years since he's spoken. He may need a little bit of help, to loosen up the vocal cords. Might be a little nervous, so maybe that could help. And of course, what do you get the 126-year-old God man? Socks, right? It doesn't matter whether you're a God man or a man God or whatever. You love socks. Everyone loves socks, right? Baba was known to wear socks with sadras, which is a bit of a fashion faux pas, especially after Labor Day, How gauche. I actually, as I was putting the joke together, I realized I'm not sure that I've ever seen a photo of Baba wearing socks. So go back and look and see if you can find one.
Mahabaleshwar.
What? In Mahabaleshwar? Well, maybe I was proven wrong. Maybe after 13 years of doing this, I finally got my comeuppance.
Where are those socks now?
Yeah, because I'm putting a cast together of those socks to sell to people. You got the torso, you got the socks. I don't know what people would get. What would you get, Baba? Just
Your surrender!
how do you wrap that? How do you wrap your surrender? It's kind of a tough thing. It's unwrappable. It is.
But you could rap about it.
But I can rap about it. Have you ever seen me rap?
Let's see it. Unfortunately,
No.
It would be a comedy.
Yeah, that's a comedy act for sure right there. That would be, I don't need to get heckled another time. No, anyone here ever written a Baba book? Has anyone, or not written? Anyone ever read a Baba book? Let me do that one right. I've actually read one or more Baba books.
Sure.
Good, that's a good turnout. I'm actually at 0 because, little known fact, I'm functionally illiterate. I don't know if you knew that about me. Yeah, very illiterate. Hire me for all your legal needs. I mostly just listen to the Baba books on tape, actually. They're narrated by Baba, so it's just silence for like 2 hours. It's just pure silence. No, it's good. Brad makes just as much sense on tape as it does as written. No, there's actually a lot of unpublished Baba books coming out. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Nashuan is working on a lot of things. We have, there's a sequel, there's Listen Humanity. It was a soaring epic tale to all the world about what to do. And of course we have the sequel, Listen Anaheim, which is mostly about Disneyland. It's pretty good. Thank you, Adrian, for liking that one. I appreciate that. Here's another one coming out. There's actually a sequel to God Speaks called God Speaks 2. It explains the last season of Game of Thrones, because the only thing more confusing than God Speaks was the last season of Game of Thrones. That's the only thing. And then, of course, my favorite, I just heard about this. I don't know if anyone else has heard about this. It's Where's Baba? It's kind of like one of those Where's Waldo books. It's actually really easy to find Baba because he's in everything and everyone. Right? Yes, I know. I'm a comedian with a heart. Yes, a badass with a heart of gold. I get that. I'm called that wrong. So, just to finish that joke, there's Baba, and there's Baba, and there's Baba, and that's just page one. No, this is always great. The only thing that I can do is comedy because I have no athletic ability. Like most Baba lovers, the only sport I can do is volleyball, which is, of course, the national sport of Baba lovers. I think if there was an Olympic delegation, we would just dominate. We would dominate all of that. But if we would especially dominate if the Olympic sport was hugging, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Greco-Roman hugging, freestyle hugging, snake hugging. Okay, I've been bribing a lot of Olympic officials, so I'm hopeful to get it into Tokyo 2020. I'm not even talking about like the US delegation of hugging. I'm not even talking about the South Carolina delegation. I'm talking about like the Briarcliff Acres delegation alone would dominate. We would obliterate everyone in our path. And of course, if you've been to the center, there's a lot of volleyball. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if you've been out there. It's a great Sahavas because you can have up to 17 on 17 on each side. Right, you have your little square inch. And I do think that if we took the best Meher Baba volleyball players from India, from Myrtle Beach, we put them together, we really trained, we worked hard, we believed in ourselves, we might be able to beat a middle school girls team. I'm going to take it that next level. Volleyball is the perfect Baba sport because it's a great way to destroy your ego because you fail just so often, and by you I mean me. I fail so often. I fail at the one where you try to, hit it like this and it just goes into your face. The one where you try to set it and it just goes into your face. And of course my personal favorite, where you go up for the massive spike, to really just obliterate it and you just watch as it goes by. And you just miss that. There's a lot of great ways to destroy the ego on the volleyball court. But it's actually a little known fact that volleyball was almost not the national sport of Baba lovers because the center was almost not put in Myrtle Beach. This is true. They were looking in Minnesota. Has anyone read this? They were looking in Minnesota initially. That's correct. That is true. And Baba said, no, we can't put it in Minnesota because then hockey would be the sport of choice. And we do not want Gary Kleiner playing a sport with large wooden sticks. Okay? Thank you so much. You've been a great crowd.
Excellent job. And a big fan right here.
Yes.